Guys, imagine meeting your boyfriend's parents for the first time, right? They made jokes with you, they loved you, you laughed, you ate food together, you hung out, right? And then you overhear them call you a racist slur when you walked away. Yo, I am still processing the audacity and the craziness of this. And it's just heartbreaking, right? You know what? Let's get into this Reddit post and hear what OP has to say about this. So the title of this post here is I heard my boyfriend's parents say something racist about me. Let's get into it, guys. Okay, so it says, my boyfriend, 25 male, and I, 23 female, have been dating for a year now. To give a bit of context, he's white and 100% Canadian, and I was born in Kenya, moved to Canada when I was one. I had never met his parents before because they live 3 hours away from us, and he's not super close to them anyway. When lockdown started and both our jobs closed, he asked if I wanted to spend a few weeks with them so I could meet them and visit his hometown. I said, sure, sounds fun. We drove there on Friday night, and when my boyfriend introduced me to his parents, they were super nice. We were talking, laughing, all that good stuff. When it was getting late, my boyfriend and I decided to prepare for bed and went upstairs. When he was already in bed, he realized he forgot his charger downstairs and asked me if I could please go get it. When I was walking down the stairs, I heard his mother, still at the kitchen table, mention my name. So, being nosy, I stopped and listened. They said I was nice and I was happy to hear that. But then his father said, it's a shame she's a N word, though. Like, I already knew from the title that, this is where we're going, but to actually read it and act like he actually used the N word with the hard R. Y'all know the N word we're talking about. Oh, the hard R. Like, literally, that's how she spelled it in here, too. Wow. His mother answered, as long as he doesn't marry her, it's fine. And he won't. He knows we will be disappointed. Wow. Talk about racist. Bruh. That's wild. I kind of froze up, waited for them to change the subject, got my boyfriend's charger, and went upstairs. You know what? I'm like, the reason I stopped reading was because I'm kind of like trying to imagine myself in that situation, how I would have reacted. Like, I'm just thinking to myself, would I have confronted them, right away and made sure they knew that I heard what they said? Or would I have done what she just did and just walk back, Like, I feel like it depends on, at it's easy to say that's what I would do, but you wouldn't know until you find yourself in that situation. Just the shock of it alone would be hard for you to kind of react the way you would want yourself to react. Let's keep going. I didn't know how to feel, and I still don't. I am lucky enough to have never dealt with this kind of racism, so I'm a bit lost on what to do. What his mother said implies my boyfriend knows his parents are not happy with him being with me. Is this why he's waited so long to introduce them to me? And why didn't he warn me that his parents don't want him dating a black girl? Do I even talk to him about it? I don't want to cause more drama, but at the same time, I'm mad. As you should be, girl, as you should be. And also sad. I know we're not there yet, but would his parents' disapproval stop him from marrying me? And if we had kids, will their grandparents hate them because you're not white enough? I love my boyfriend so much, and I know he loves me, but I don't know what to do and how to go about this. Honestly, for me, my first reaction at this point would be to confront my boyfriend, like let him know what his parents said. Um, he might be aware that they are racist, and that's why he hasn't brought her around them. Doesn't necessarily mean that he's racist himself, right? If he was, he wouldn't be dating you. And from what I'm reading here, I don't think she's ever gotten any. um inclination that he might be racist, right? Like, and we also know that just because your parents are one way doesn't necessarily mean you're the same way, right? So honestly, at this point, before she spirals out of her head, I feel like she should let her boyfriend know and then go from there. Base it off of his reaction. However he reacts would then help her make the decision, right? There are some comments here that also seem to support what I'm saying. So this one commenter here said, talk to your boyfriend. Sounds like he isn't close to them for a reason. There you go. Maybe he knows. That's why. Like, just like I said. Another person here also said, you definitely need to talk with your boyfriend about this. You need the emotional support and loving care to remind you that he chose you, and to hell with his racist parents. Let him deal with them and don't try to bottle up those emotions. I love this. I love this comment. Another person here said he needs to stand up to them tomorrow. No, no, no. We don't need to wait till tomorrow. If they're still awake, I will get him to stand up to them right away. Nah, we not wait until tomorrow. If they had all that time to be talking all that racist comments, yeah, then they need to face it right away as well. Make it fresh. Let them know that you heard them. Um, you still have 2 more weeks there. Oh, hell no. Oh, I almost caused. Screw that. I am not, honestly, after the confrontation, if it was me, I'm gone. I am leaving. I am not spending 2 weeks with racist ass people. Screw that. I am going back home. He needs to confront them and tell them how effed up it is. Definitely tell your boyfriend. I can't believe they called you the N word either. Despicable. Okay, another person here also said the same thing. Basically, everyone's just echoing the same thing. Definitely talk to him about it, and depending on how he handles that information, be prepared for the fact that he might not believe you or could take up for their ridiculous behavior. I didn't even think about that. I'm sorry you had to hear slash deal with that. Ugh. Okay, guys, there is an update here. I mean, obviously, this happened in like 2020. Okay, so she says final update 20 hours later. Ooh, so you know that was some tea because it didn't take that long. All right, so it says I decided to tell my boyfriend what happened. I told him last night at 2 a.m. He was livid. I barely had time to finish the story before he started packing our bags. Ah, I love that. He kept on apologizing for the situation he put me in, and I could see how horrible he felt about all of this. He told me he wanted to talk to his parents about what they said and asked if I wanted to be a part of the conversation or if I would rather wait in the car. Not being a person who likes confrontation at all, I hesitated and ultimately said I wanted to be there. I just didn't want to actively participate in the conversation. I was too uncomfortable. Okay, good. I am glad she wanted. I'm glad she chose to be there because I want them to look her in the eye and try to and try to justify, why they thought it was okay, and they're gonna try to justify. We all know that, but how the hell are you gonna justify being racist? You know? Um, he woke his parents up. Love that. I love her boyfriend already here, and sat them down and told them what I had heard. They were clearly extremely uncomfortable and kind of just stared at him. You know what I like is that they also know they effed up. They know what they did was wrong. They know what they were doing was wrong. That's why they can't say anything to defend themselves. You know? Like they couldn't believe he was doing this. He told them it was unacceptable and how ashamed he was of them. He also told them that when and if we would decide to speak to them again, they better be ready to sincerely apologize and do better because he wouldn't tolerate anything else. He also mentioned that their opinion would have no impact on who he would decide to marry. I don't know why it started with that evil smile. His mom looked like she wanted to say something, but he didn't let her. Got up and we left. We were quite shaken up on the ride home, but he took the time to explain to me what he knew of his parent. Oh, what he knew of why his parents behaved that way. Something tells me he probably already knew they were racist. Basically, he remembers his parents making racist remarks here and there when he was little. not just about Black people, but people of color in general. He didn't really know it was wrong until he got out of his hometown and realized his parents were very wrong in their views. With time, he saw his parents less and less because their views regarding race and other issues just didn't align with his at all anymore. And it would create an animosity every time he visited them. When he met me, even before we became a couple and were just friends, he would often post pictures of us on Facebook, and his parents would see them. They never mentioned anything. When they learned that we were a couple, they said they wanted to meet me, and he wasn't sure of the sincerity. He said they talked about me when they would call him, and for a whole year, my boyfriend basically tried to make sure that they were actually okay with our relationship. Okay. Okay. So he tested the waters. They never gave him any reason to suspect that they were gonna act racist towards OP, and that's why he brought her home. So like we all suspected he kind of already, he knew they were racist, and he just that was why he never brought her home in the first place. Bless his heart. His parents kept saying not to worry, that they had learned from their past mistakes, asking him to trust them. After a year, he finally believed them, and that's when he decided to introduce us. He was so happy to see how nice and accepting they were towards me. He said it himself. He was too naive. I don't think he was naive. I think he was just more hopeful. People change all the time. Who was to say that they hadn't actually changed? Of course, in this case, they hadn't, and they just lied to him that they had. He was pretty much crying, telling me this, but I could tell he tried not to because he felt responsible and didn't want to make it about himself. Maybe it makes me dumb, but I don't blame him. I know him, and he wouldn't put me in a situation like this on purpose. No, I don't think so either. He sounds like, from what she's saying, he sounds very sincere. I believe him when he says he truly thought they changed. I mean, y- let's put ourselves in the shoes. Anybody would hope they had changed at that point. He apologized numerous times and told me I never had to see them again, and he wouldn't either for a long while. He was already not close with them, and this situation didn't help at all. He made it a point to say that what his mother said about him wasn't true, that he wouldn't marry me because he knows they would disapprove. We talked about it a lot since last night. We barely slept, and I decided I do want to stay with him. A big majority of the comments under my last post told me that my best option was to leave him. A lot of it coming from people of color. And I understand why. Honestly, as a person of color myself, I don't think so. Like, if you've never ever gotten that sign of him being racist in any way, shape, or form, why? And he stood up for her. Like, as soon as he heard what they had said, he literally went and woke them up and confronted them right away. Yeah, I don't think somebody that supported the view would have done all of that. And after that, after confronting them, he left. Like, he took her and left. He didn't defend them at all. Yeah, no, I don't leave him. I don't think so. He's the keeper from what I'm reading here. Okay, so she continues, but I do love him very much, and I really do not want to leave him because his parents hate our relationship, right? And if she does, they win. I think I would regret it. I am not saying it will be easy, and maybe I am making a mistake, but I want to be with him. Maybe it's disappointing to a lot of you, but it's my decision. Love that, sis. Love that. Thank you all very much for your advice. I'm happy. I'm happy that um it I'm glad the boyfriend reacted the way that he did. So he really does have her back here. Um and you can tell he's not like his parents. I mean, the whole reason he's not close to them anymore is because of their racist views, and which he doesn't support, which is why he doesn't see them as often. And I feel like this probably even just drove a bigger wedge between them. And I'm glad that she also, not, I wouldn't say necessarily stood up for herself per se. She let him handle it because those are his parents. But I'm glad that she was there when he confronted them. I really am glad that she was there to do that. Okay, let's read some of the comments here. Um, Not sure what you're complaining about. He walked away from his family for you. What more do you want? Guess you just need more attention. Hope he moves on. What the hell? Okay, this was downvoted very, very well. Okay, good, because I don't understand what this person is saying. Like, are you dumb? And then OP responded, I am not complaining at all. He literally had the best reaction I could have asked for. Not sure where you think I'm complaining, right? Like, that was dumb as hell. Okay, another person here said, so glad your boyfriend stood up for you properly. No wavering, nothing. You told him and he immediately took action, showing you he was on your side. Exactly. Love that. Love that. Good stuff. Another person here said, why did so many people tell her to leave him without knowing how he would react, right? Like I don't get it. I don't get it. That's entirely what determines the question. He's clearly a keeper. Period. Parents are less significant of an issue if your spouse keeps the relationship appropriate, i.e., bad parents are mostly bad when a spouse doesn't maintain boundaries or they still have more of a parent child relationship. Exactly. And you can tell, even if they end up married, you can tell that he's going to be fighting hard for her with his parents. He's a keeper. It really is. Another person here said, your boyfriend is on your side. That's key. His parents do not define your relationship, and it sounds like you guys are on the right track. F people who tell you to break up with him because of his parents. Period. Period. Exactly. Better words have never been more spoken. So good. Guys, you can also leave your comments in the comment section. Let's hear what you have to say about this. But honestly, I agree with a lot of these comments here saying that the boyfriend did the right thing. He took action right away and he showed that he was 100% on her side. As a fellow black person, oh, wait a minute. I'm black. I'm joking. As a fellow black person, like, I would not have, I could not have asked for a better reaction if he was my partner and I had found myself in that kind of situation. This is exactly the way I would want my partner to react. And he did everything right. He reacted the way he should have. He handled the situation, honestly, the best way that he could have. And he showed that he was 100% on her side in this situation here. I don't know what people are saying about leave him alone, leave him, leave. Why would she leave him for that? Like, he's not the one that was being racist, and he fought against his racist parents. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and if you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button, and I will see you next time. Bye.